This is NBC 10 News.
A Philadelphia abortion doctor will spend 3 life sentences behind bars. Jurors who spent months on the case finally got to speak about what they went through today. Those jurors were openly critical of Dr. Gosnell with some observations no defense attorney wants to hear. Let's get reaction from a defense attorney we've been consulting throughout this case. Enrique Latoison, we appreciate your being here with us in the Digital Operations Center. Enrique, let's begin with the jury foreman's observations about Dr. Gosnell's body language. We'll let you listen to it, and then I'll ask a question at the other end.
He gave me nothing to give him an impression on. He just sat there for the past 8 weeks smirking. I didn't care for it. I mean, the man's, you know, what he's facing, and he just sat there and smirked for 8 weeks.
Now, the defense attorney, Jack McMahon, is never going to admit this publicly, but Enrique, based on what you just heard, do you think Gosnell's defense team regrets not putting him on the witness stand?
Well, it's a hard case to second guess on. At the end of the day, Mr. McMahon did save Mr. Gosnell's life. He's no longer facing the death penalty. And a defense attorney, along with the district attorney, usually always instructs witnesses that the jury is always watching. They're always looking and seeing how a person interacts with the defense attorney, with the other courtroom staff. They're always making their own opinions on being able to sit there and stare at someone, especially for the time that it took in this case. And it's not surprising that when a person doesn't testify, that they use something as a smirk that Mr. Gosnell might have been doing to express his displeasure with something, and that was, you know, perceived in a way in a negative fashion.
Enrique, what about the jurors' personal views on abortion? I took a look at each of their bios. Most of them were pro-choice. How much of that played into the case, if at all? First, listen to the jurors' thoughts here.
I'm pro-choice. I believe in the woman's right to choose. They're just not decisions that I would personally make myself. And that doesn't, being pro-choice doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the sanctity of life.
Well, I would think that during the jury selection process, the defense, along with the Commonwealth, would have known what the views were as far as their views on abortion goes. And I think we can agree that a pro-choice jury member was probably more beneficial to the defense in this case, even though he was convicted of these charges.
All right, Enrique, now 2 of the 3 jurors who spoke out today said they believe Gosnell began as a good doctor. I want you to listen, and then I'll get your reaction at the other end.
Most of us felt that the doctor, he probably started out good and helping the community, but eventually most of us felt it came down to a greed factor.
Enrique, do you think the defense could have built more on the jurors' belief that Gosnell started as a good guy?
Well, yes, I mean, I do believe that, and not second-guessing Mr. McMahon, but every defense in a case like this has the ability to put on character witnesses to talk about a person's reputation, peacefulness, law-abiding reputation in the community. So you do have that ability underneath the law to present that evidence, even fact witnesses that could talk about whether or not this was unlikely, his behavior, and he's not known to be a murderer, and do these kind of things. So once again, not second-guessing Mr. McMahon and the defense that he put on. At the end of the day, Mr. Gosnell's life was saved. So one could argue that it still was a successful defense of Mr. Gosnell facing the charges and all the evidence that was against him.
This has been a major story that's been caught the attention of the country, and we appreciate defense attorney Enrique Latoison with your legal analysis. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.